All right, Mya-Lisa, thank you for talking with me today. So, we're just going to unpack your experience with the medicine within coach training. So, you're a
Love
graduate. Yeah. So, tell me, like, when we just open with kind of how you're doing right now, how you felt moving into it, kind of tell me a little bit about what the journey's been like for you.
Oh, well, it was a magical journey and I have been thinking a lot about how I'm missing it now. I mean, I'm so happy to have gone through it, but it was so wonderful to be in the midst of it. Um I came from the medicine within class and really wanted to delve more deeply into coaching others, really get into, I had such a magical experience myself. I really wanted to get more deeply into how to, in a structured way, help others through that same healing process or support them in their own healing. And I don't know if you want me to dive right into what the classes were like, but that was
You
such a
dive away. Yeah. However, wherever you want to
okay.
take it.
I because this is something that I thought was so beneficial for me is that within the classes we continue to learn to heal ourselves. It's so funny because you're constantly in the process of growing yourself as you learn to how to help support other people, which I suppose is the journey period just in life, right? We're always growing ourselves. But there's something that makes it very personal, that as you're learning to do this for others within the class, you're practicing on this others in the class in this structured supportive environment where you're overseeing and helping shape and guide. So it's really the safe environment for doing it, but you're going through all the same steps that a client would be going through. And it brings this level of personalization. And just, I think it helps you put your heart in it. It You're feeling what a client's going through, and there's nothing like that for helping, for me, for really having that compassionate heart and going into something as a journey that you're going into together.
Hmm.
I really love that about this class.
I love that. Yeah, it's been like it's so beautiful to get to see you guys grow as students. Like the more and more we go through the journey, the more I back off and just I'm here to support and nudge little points, but you guys are able to help each other so much. And to see your own healing journeys through that is just it's so always so magical and surprising what comes up and beautiful and unexpected and in its own way.
It is. I had things come up in class, Abby, that I was just a practice person. I was just a client. It wasn't that I was trying to work through something big. I just was a client that particular class. I was playing the role of the client. So of course you work on real issues. So I would dig into, maybe an emotion that I was really feeling a lot of or situation that had happened. And a couple times my um the folks in the class who were leading me through it would dig down in, and I would find there was this incredible trauma that I didn't even know existed, but of course made perfect sense when it came to the surface. I mean, that was so surprising to me each time it happened.
Hmm. Yeah, amazing. And then did you find that moving through that process was helpful for resolving that trauma?
Yes, absolutely. I think that it is funny that this works because you go through it yourself. You are working on your own traumas, you're working on the traumas of the other people in the class for practice, and you're seeing it work in front of you. I mean, that was incredible to me. I worked through one particular family trauma that I knew you're well aware of, that I didn't even know that was still lurking and causing any issues.
Mm.
Um, and it was incredible to see it come out. And then it was incredible the feeling of freedom on the other side of it.
Mm. Yeah.
Sometimes it's fester, I think, in me at least, and I'm not completely aware of it, but I see the outcomes of it. I see what's happening as a result of it, and
Yeah.
And that's what I love about these tools. They give you a way of going back to the root of these things where it's easier to heal.
That's beautiful. Tell me about right now? Like, what are you doing now that you've graduated? Are you using these tools in your work? What is that like?
Yeah. Yes, I certainly am. So I have a variety of jobs right now. It's grown and blown up beyond what I had thought it would be at this point. So which is wonderful. It's very exciting, but I'm very busy. Um, so I have wrapped this in. I use these tools in my private coaching. So I do private coaching for meditation. But I also, most people who come to me for private coaching come to me because there is some active trauma they're working on right now in their lives. So it's been wonderful for me to have a structure that I can rely on and have faith in and know how to safely work a client through that. And of course, wonderful for them because this gives something that they can use like a lifeline to
Mhm.
work their way through what they're going through.
Mhm.
In addition to that, I teach mindfulness and meditation classes at a health center. I teach them to corporate clients where I will teach a group, for instance, an IT group. I might teach a group of 10 from a certain department of an organization or leadership group. And I also teach mindfulness and meditation at the University of Maine for credit.
Wow.
Um, so
Amazing.
that's a lot.
Amazing. Yeah, you are a busy person. There's a lot going on.
It feels a little too busy sometimes, but
Good for you, though. That's beautiful. Yeah, I remember in my shamanic healing training, it was amazing and powerful, but I felt like there were certain situations that were coming up when I was working with clients where I don't know where to take you right now. And I just wanted that like support structure. And I feel like that's kind of when you have the structure, then it's easier to be intuitive because this like you're supported by the flow of where we take people.
exactly right. I was thinking about that, Abby, when I was working with a client not long ago who's going through a very difficult life event right now. And if I feel nervous, if I feel like, oh, what do I do now? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do with this unexpected thing that just happened with this person? Then it's harder for me to tap into my intuition. It's harder for me to let that flow. But when I rely back on the structure and the practice in our class, that gets me back on this ground where I feel so solid. We really practiced it so much. We saw every sort of outcome in the class. We had the unexpected thrown at us, that I'm back on that safe footing where then, now I can let that intuition flow when the unexpected happens.
I love that. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Do you feel like if you had to give your past self advice when you're about to start this program
Yeah.
or let her know anything about it, what would you want to tell her?
I think I would tell her a couple of things. One is that this whole thing is unfolding perfectly. As soon as you need it, something will come up in class that will show you how to deal with something. It was amazing the number of times that happened, Abby, and I know we commented on it in class, myself and the other students, like, oh, I've never run up against this situation before. I've never had this happen. And suddenly it would be happening to one of us in one of our practice sessions. And then it would be there when you needed it. So just to trust the way it all unfolds, that would be, I think, the first one. The second one would probably be that there will be a structure. You will learn the whole structure. It will take time. You'll learn it piece by piece. By the end, the entire structure will be there, and you will have done it enough times where it will be second nature. And then another part of you can flow out.
That's beautiful. I love that. It's like learning how to ride the bike. And it's like, okay, I don't need the training wheels. I know how to balance. And then it just gets, and then I can just
Yeah.
cruise and it's fun. And then I can experience what it's like
The
being.
bike is a great analogy. Exactly right. You really get solid on those training wheels. Maybe you have training wheels and, a parent on the other side holding you up in the beginning.
Totally. Totally. 'Cause it's like it's important to feel supported and feel safe. What was it like working with the other students, connecting with with your peers within the class and like and outside of class and practice sessions?
Love my peers from my class so much. Uh, we communicate a lot now, even with the class being over. We keep in touch. This just you meet a special, wonderful, magical group of people when you take one of these classes. Everyone's bringing their own type of energy and beauty to these classes. And as you practice with them more and more, you also, both within the class and then in practice sessions outside the class, you just develop this trust, first of all, but also this awe at the power people have within them, at this incredible capacity they have to hold space for you and lead you through some of your darkest times, which crop up sometimes when you're practicing. And it's really just it's a beautiful connection. I can't say enough good things about the people who I was in class with.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's such an amazing group. Um, and then how has it been working with clients? Like how has it been seeing what their progress is like as you use these tools and work with them using these methods?
It makes my eyes tear up actually to even think about it, because I just feel so honored, privileged that I get to be there and be this vessel that helps hold them when they are going through these times. And it's I'm honestly going through a traumatic time, really is very close to my heart, working with people during those times. It's like they're broken open and vulnerable, and I know how that feels, and I really find it such a blessing to be able to be with them during that time. But also some other people are more seeking. They're maybe not going through an exceptional trauma this moment, but they're seekers, and they want to know how to move forward. They want to know how to heal what's past. And that's also a position that I really know intimately well. I've had that same feeling before too. That's what led me to your classes. And it's an extraordinary feeling to be able to go through that with them. I don't think I can really articulate how much it means to me.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I don't think I could either. Being able to do this
It's
work. Just yeah,
incredible.
it is, yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, and anything that you'd want to, if there's someone out there considering taking this class, either to become a healer or for even just their own healing, is there anything that you would want to say to them or suggest for them?
Yeah. So I would suggest they look into it. You have consultations, I believe that you still do,
Mhm.
Abby,
Yeah.
where people can learn a little bit more about the class. But I think that it would be really nice for them to know that they're not going through it alone. That not only will they have you, which is, obviously sort of the first level of what you need, is someone who can guide you through these waters. But that you will be also going through it with the other students in the class, and you will find that that is another whole layer of support and exploration and inspiration. And that's pretty incredible. I can see why you do this in classes, in small groups that can, rather than individually, that it gives this complete experience for a person who's going through it.
Yeah, I find that's one of the most beautiful things is the community element and that sense of belonging and waking up together, becoming, empowered and understanding together. It's such a beautiful thing.
And the learning is exponentially increased because as the other people in the class, they have epiphanies and they share and you're sharing, and all of it cumulatively is becoming a larger experience of awakening.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like I have tingles as you say that because it's like this is it feels like this that's the human potential, like coming together in this really intimate, safe way where we're free to like really grow and help each other grow just by being who we are and having our own
Yeah,
discovery.
yeah. You know what? I will add that it's something that you say often, but that's the other thing people should know is that you do not have to be anything other than what you are to start on this journey. If that's what you feel called to do, and that's where your excitement and your passion lie, you don't have to think to yourself, yeah, but I'm not intuitive, or but I'm not this, or I should be more of that. That all comes with you. You are already all that. It
Mhm.
just you discover it in the process, and you
Mhm.
don't have to be anything else than whatever you're bringing with you right now.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's such a freeing thing. And it's like, it's one thing to understand that, then it's another thing to really experience that. I know if, like, for me, when I experience that, there's this huge heart opening. It's this like remembering and relief of like, oh, it's just so freeing to just relax into who I am.
Yes, it is.
Mm. Thank you so much for this, Mya-Lisa. I so appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. I appreciate you, Abby. I've loved these classes. They have changed my life.
Oh, well, it changes my life getting to hold space for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you, Abby.